Hey guys, this is Eric here at the warehouse, and today we're going to go over how to size for a goalie stick. And the biggest thing to know is that goalie stick sizing really isn't going to be based a whole lot on height. It can give you kind of a general guideline, but it's really going to vary for each goalie just because there's so many different stances and different styles and just different preferences altogether. So we're going to give you a general overview of how to size a goalie stick. So starting out with the senior model sticks, those are going to be from paddle lengths of 25 inches to 28.5 inches. Those are going to be designed for goalies that are 5'5" or taller or 14 years old or older. Then going into the intermediate, those are going to be paddle lengths of 23.5 inch to 24.5 inch. And those are going to be designed for goalies that are 4'6" to 5'4" or ages 11 to 16. And then going into the junior breakdown, those are going to be paddle lengths of 21 inches to 23 inches, and they're going to be designed for goalies that are 3'9" to 4'9", or ages 6 to 12. And then going into the youth breakdown, that's going to be paddle lengths of 18 inches to 20.5 inches, and those are going to be for goalies that are up to 4 feet tall or up to 7 years old. Now, one important thing to note when purchasing a goalie stick is that the paddle lengths for each company are going to vary a little bit, just because everyone has a slightly different way of measuring that goalie stick. So what we've done is created our universal measurement. So that's going to be a measurement that we've done on each and every stick that's going to allow you to compare the two different sticks that are two different models. So basically, as you can see right here, I have two 26-inch paddles right here, a Reebok and a Sherwood. As you can see, the Reebok is actually about 3/4 of an inch taller. So what we found with the Reebok sticks is that they're actually about 2 inches taller than what they state, kind of depending on each model and intermediate, senior, or junior, and youth. But then also with the Sherwood here, we've noticed that they run about 1.25 inches taller than what they actually say as well. Whereas Bauer actually seems to run a little bit more true to size. So it just kind of varies for each different company, but what we've done is created that universal measurement to give you a general rule of thumb for every goalie stick out there. Now, as we take a look at the goalie here, he's using a stick that's going to be a little bit too small for him. So as you can see, the toe is actually touching the surface first, but the heel is going to be up. So if you're using that stick that's a little too short, if you try to correct that by flattening out the blade, you're going to see that the goalie has to actually get a little bit lower and the blocker is going to be positioned a little bit lower. So that's actually going to affect your whole positioning, so the whole positioning is going to be slightly off with using a too small of a stick. Now, as we take a look here, this goalie is going to be using a stick that's a little bit too tall now. So what that is going to do is actually make it so the heel is touching, but now the toe is actually up a little bit. So you can have a shot slip right underneath the toe of the stick. And if you try to use that stick and just correct it, you can see the whole positioning of the goalie is going to be actually raised. So the blocker is going to be raised. You're not going to be able to squat quite as much and still use that stick properly. So this is going to be a stick that's just a little bit too tall. Now, as you can see here, this goalie is going to be using a stick that's actually the right size for him. So as you can see, looking at the blade, the whole blade is actually laying flat across the playing surface, and then that blocker and his entire positioning is going to be in that position that's comfortable for him, and that's going to be that right fit for a goalie stick. So that was a quick look on how to size for a goalie stick. If you have any other questions on how to select a goalie stick, we also have a video on how to select a goalie stick. But if you have any other questions about any goalie products, feel free to give us a call at inline@icewarehouse.com.